Hi guys, this is Sam from CG Candy. Today I'm going to show you how to unwrap UVs using Maya and Zbrush. So what we've got here is a standard human figure that I took from Zbrush. It's a pretty dense mesh, but it's really nice topology, so it should work well. I haven't tested this out yet, so bear with me here. We're not going to do the whole figure because I don't really want this tutorial to be about properly creating UV shells and the whole theory behind where to make cuts and all that. This is really about just the process of making the cuts in Maya and then sending it over to ZBrush to unwrap it. And the reason I do this instead of staying entirely in Maya is because um, Maya has some older algorithms when it comes to unfolding UVs, and I found that pretty much every other program at the moment does a better job. ZBrush, it's also very quick. I wouldn't always use this way. I also use UV layout when I have made by Hedis when I have time to do really nice UVs. But when you're in a bind and you really want some quick UVs, this is a good way to do it. And it's also you can do the same thing in ZBrush using the paint tool, but it just feels clunky to me, and I like the precision of Maya. So. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So what we need first of all is just to create some UVs on this. So it probably doesn't matter, but let's go ahead and just go up to the front view here, and we're just going to go to Create UVs. Make sure you're in this polygon menu set. Create UVs, planar mapping. Let's hit that options box, and we're going to change this. Let's go ahead and reset it. And I just want to change this to camera so that the camera I'm looking through is going to be my projection camera. So go ahead and hit project. Let's click on our guy, go to window, UV texture editor. Alright, so now we have some UVs, and obviously it's not good UVs, but this is what we want to do to get started. Alright, so the next thing we could do is let's just start creating some shells. And like I said, I'm not going to care too much about making all these shells perfect. I just want to set this up as an example for you guys. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and select this edge loop here, and I'll try to, as best as I can, match it on the other side real quick here. Okay, so I'm just holding, I went into edge mode, I'm just holding shift and double clicking and selecting that edge loop. Alright, so now we can cut those using this little scissor icon here. And now if we go to UV, hold down right click, go to UV, select any of the points on this foot, and we go to select shell, you can now see that we made that cut. Okay, so let's go ahead and do select shell. I'm just moving these away so that I can see which parts that I've already cut on my character. Alright, so let's separate the legs here. I guess we'll do right about up here. Go into perspective mode and see how that looks. This edge loop isn't going all the way around because it's got some five-sided point pulls here, so it's getting a little lost. So we're going to just manually click it a few times and get that whole edge loop. Okay, so we can go ahead and hit that cut icon again, and I didn't have to cut at the foot because I already just did that in the last step. Okay, so if you go to UV and you hold Control and right click, that's the shortcut to get to shell. So I'm going to do that just for speed's sake. So I just select the point, hold Control, right click, to shell. Alright, so now we've got our legs. You know what? This is going really fast, so I could probably do most of the torso here. Let's go ahead and double click for the arm. Okay. Where did I do that? Okay, right about here it looks like. Alright, go ahead and cut. Move that. Alright, so far so good. Let's make a cut at the wrists. Okay. All right, let's separate our character's head here. Hit the, it says separate the UVs along selected edge, so I'm just calling it cut, but that's what it actually is called. All right, now let's separate our torso into two parts. Whoops, okay, so this is going to be a little trickier here. Real quick, I'm gonna put this in face mode and select it from here so I can see where the edge of my my cuts are here. So we're gonna go to here and then up to here. Let's try. Okay, that's one of the cuts that I need to make. Let's try to just look at the top. Maybe we can. Nope, it's kind of clipping off the character. So I'm just gonna have to try to match that seam that I selected on one side. So it looks to be about bear with me, guys. About here, something like that. And you know, it's not too big of a deal if I don't select the exact same thing on both sides. So, all right, and now we want to. What I'm trying to do here is split the front of the torso and the back into two pieces. So I'm just gonna. Oops. Okay, got a little too much there. I'm just gonna hold Control and deselect some of that. Okay, I think that might be what I need. Let's go ahead and give it a shot. Oh, nope, I messed up somewhere. So there's a button here that we can press that will show our seams a little bolder. Let me see if I can remember how to do that. Um, Alright, I can't really remember how to do that. So basically it was supposed to show the seams a little thicker, but we can get by without it. Oh, here we go. Okay, so these two squares right here, the blue one with the white one behind it, you can see right over here it's making my seams visible, so that's really handy. So let's see where I messed up. Did not split my torso into two pieces. Oh, maybe it was because I did not cut down here. That might have been what I needed to do. So let's go ahead and just select those two edges, cut them, and see if that did the trick. Nope. Okay, still something I'm missing here. There's an edge there that got by. Just make sure that, okay, so that should do it. Okay, cool. Got the torso in two parts like I wanted. Next thing we need to do is we have the shells of these objects mostly set up. Oh, I didn't do the head as well. You know what? I'm not going to worry about the head because it's a little more complicated. There are tons of tutorials on where to cut the seams and how to separate the face and all that. So like I said, this isn't really about that. So I'll just do a really quick cut down the back of his head, just so something not too terrible will happen when I do put this into ZBrush. So there we go. That'll do fine. And again, that's not the best way to unwrap a head, but just for speed's sake. Okay, so now we need some seams along our arm and legs here. So let's go ahead. I already have an edge cut right there, so I'm just going to use that loop right there, and I'll just cut from one part all the way to the other. So from the wrist to the shoulder, I'll just make a cut there. And let's go ahead and try to copy that as best I can over here. Whoops. And you just follow the loop. Okay, right to there. Okay, I selected a lot more than I needed to down on the body, so let me just hold Control and deselect some of the stuff I didn't mean to grab. All I wanted was the arms at the moment. I might have... Okay, I think I'm good. So you can see the seam, and I'm trying to put these seams. This is one of the things that I'm not really going into, but I put the seams under the arm so that it's somewhere that's not too visible, and that's pretty standard practice, because you don't see the underside of the arm as much, so it's better for hiding the seam. So let's hit cut there. All right. What else do we need to do? Let's do the leg. Okay, so same idea here. I could do somewhere inside the leg here, and figure out which loop I just selected. It looks like it goes down to here. Nope, that wasn't the right one. Next one over. Don't need that. Alright, let's make that cut. And then we can just repeat that on the other side. Okay. Alright, so we've done mostly everything. We could do the bottom of the foot. That might help that foot unwrap a little better. So let's try that. Okay, that also did not go all the way around, so we're gonna have to finish that off by hand by just holding shift and double clicking so that we create a full edge loop here. Something a little strange there. Okay, that works. Okay, go ahead and cut that. Can do our same thing. Select the UV, hold Control and right click and go to to shell and just make sure that foot broke off. Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to do the other bottom of the foot. I'll just it's just for practice. Okay, and then the next thing I want to do is the hand. Let's just do one of the hands as well. So it's kind of typical to sort of cut the hand in half. So like the front of the hand and the back of the hand. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. Actually, I'll move this down one. Okay. Just doing my shift and double click all the way around. Let's do like that. And this is so much easier when you have a good model like this, because if I had created this model myself, maybe my topology would not have been as nice, but on a model like this, it's really clear. The edge flow is really perfect, and it's just obvious where you need to keep going with the edges. They don't twist around the model in a way that they shouldn't. So Thank you to whoever created this in ZBrush. Alright, so we've got our hand selected. Okay, and let's make our cut. Alright, and once again I'm just going to do this for one hand. You get the idea, just rinse and repeat. Okay, so one more thing before I want to send it over to ZBrush. You see how this torso over here is blue and this one is red? That's because of the way we projected it. So because I projected it from the front, the back is actually upside down. And I turned that on by this button right here. It's the other one with the blue square in the front, but it's called toggle shaded UV display. So if you click it, you can see that it's becoming red. So yeah, red means that it's flipped upside down. That might not be an issue for this, but I'm just going to flip it anyway on a couple of these. So to do that, you can just select the whole shell. You go to polygons, flip, and let's check the options box and just make sure it's set to horizontal. And go ahead and hit apply, and then you can see that's fixed. Alright, so we're almost ready to send this to ZBrush. I went ahead and tried to send it in, and I had a couple of small issues that I haven't seen before. So we're going to try something a little different before we get it into ZBrush that I don't usually do. Let's go ahead and select a part of each of these parts, like the legs and the head and things. And I just want to unwrap it a little so that ZBrush will recognize my seams better, because what happened is it knew where each part was, but it wasn't making the cuts down the sides of them. So let's select the whole shell, and we'll hit this smooth UV tool. And I just want to unfold it a little this time. And maybe this isn't necessary for you, but let's see if it fixes the problems I was having before. So just selecting each of these parts that I cut the seam down the side of. So, you know, this doesn't look good, but that's fine. And this is what I was talking about Maya's unfold. It should be doing a much better job than this, and there's a couple other ways to do it, but it just doesn't ever seem to come out quite as nice in this program. Alright, so I'm just going to do this real quick. There's the front part of my hand there. This one's going to come out weird because I didn't take the time to make that seam around the side. So I'll just kind of ignore it for now. And one of these feet as well. Okay. The other way you could do this is you can go to polygon, unfold here. That might do a better job. Let's see what that is. Sometimes it shrinks them down when you do that. And see, that's terrible. I mean, that just does not look good. So, okay. Now what we want to do is scale these parts up, because sometimes ZBrush will not recognize your cuts due to scale. And my model is pretty big, so that might not be an issue, but I'm just going to scale everything up super large, and ZBrush will fit it back to its normal size. So if you're having problems in the next step where once you hit unfold, ZBrush doesn't use all the seams that we've made, this might be the problem. And actually, let me unfold this head as well real quick. Okay, cool. All right, so let's go ahead and give this a shot. We'll send it over to ZBrush with our Go Z button here, and let's take a look and see if our UVs worked. All right, they're not showing up because they are too large, so just ignore that actually. Okay, so let's go to Z plugin, unwrap all, and we want to make sure this is we have use existing UV seams checked on, and symmetry can be turned off. This is the most important part because this is what is telling ZBrush to use those edges that we've cut in the last part of the video. Alright, so we can hit unwrap all. And now let's look at our UVs. All right, there we go. So the first time before I unwrapped them a little bit, I was getting something a lot worse. Pretty much everything was looking like this one right here. And this is probably my foot that I didn't do that cut on. So it's just a bad unwrap because I didn't do good seams. But you can see my other foot here is it's really nice. And this could be my other hand that I didn't take the time to do that cut across. So you can see what a difference that one cut made. Alright, so now we can send this back to Maya. So I'm having some issues with my GoZ going back the other way. Let's see if it'll work for me or not. Let's see, it looks like we got an error. Objects GoZ when it's not unique. Okay, this is an error that I've had a couple times. Now ZBrush crashed. Awesome. Alright. Hey, look at that. It it decided to send my flattened out model instead of the actual model. So, all right. Sometimes fun things happen like that. So let me try this again. I'm going to send it back to ZBrush. Give this another shot. All right. Oh, my window's too big. You guys can't see everything. Usually, guys, this is really not that complicated. I'm running into some issues today, but I think you guys will probably have better luck than I'm having today. It's Monday. Oops. All right, let's just do the same thing real quick. Z plugin, UV master, turn off symmetry, turn on use existing seams, unwrap all. Send it over to Maya. Pray. Okay. Hmm. All right, let's do this the old school way. We'll do export. Just put it on our desktop here. Can move him out of here, and I'll import my model. Okay, there we go. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, so as I was showing you guys before, these shells just came in flipped. So I'm gonna go ahead and select them all and flip them back. Okay. So now we can, if we want to, go in. I mean, maybe this is fine for you, or we could go in and we could just clean these up a little. The other nice thing about doing it this way is that ZBrush kept everything the same scale. So what I mean by that is that everything in this should be to scale in relation to each other. And that's really nice because if you don't do that, you end up with some a weird effect where you might see more like pixelation in a certain area. If I were to make this head really large and everything else really small, it just might not look consistent. So keeping everything the same scale is often a good idea. And sometimes people make a separate UV map just for the head, which is okay too. Whatever works for you guys. So yeah, this is the main idea here. Here's an edge that I accidentally messed up, so I'm just gonna sew that back up. Alrighty guys, well that concludes this tutorial, and sorry for those mix-ups, and hopefully you guys learned something today, and you can see why or how much better of a result that you seem to get using ZBrush's newer unwrapping algorithms. It just does a much better job, and I've never really been able to get such clean looking shells as this one right here, straight out of Maya. So maybe you can see the advantage of doing it this way. It's not a lot of extra work in ZBrush. You really just toss it over there and click a couple buttons, and then you're ready to bring it back. So thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you learned something. I know I got a little mixed up, so if you have any questions, feel free to add them in the comments. I'll do my best to get back to you. Thanks a lot, guys.